Yo, Pich, what's up, dude?
Hey, man.
What are you up to?
I'm sorting. I got the hockey and basketball here, sorting to put stuff on eBay. The work is never done.
All right, man, right on. Pich, what are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm going through all my hats. It's like, what do you do? Like, do you put them in order of, like, basketball, football, or do you put them in order of color? Like, here's my yellow hats, here's my blue hats. Like, I don't know. It's so exciting, though, but I get to phone them.
Yeah, man, totally. Yo, Pich, what are you doing, man?
Well, I'm trying to put the oranges in this bowl in order of, lightest to darkest orange, but it's tough because it doesn't look like there was any kind of order here to start with, so I'm just working from scratch.
Yeah, no, I didn't order my oranges, dude. We might have a problem here.
Yeah, we do. They're not in order, but I'm working on it. So give me that.
Welcome, everybody, to Court Cousins, episode 44. The 44th episode on your 44th year of living. Happy birthday, Jason Pich, Michael Pich, JMP, Judge JMP. Yes, it is Pich's birthday. Happy birthday, Pich.
Thank you, sir. It's exciting to be here on my birthday. A few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, I started to realize, hey, wait a minute. We're going to do a show around my birthday, and it's going to be show 44 on my 44th birthday. I'd like to say we planned that, but that would have had to be 2 years in advance, so we did not. Just an interesting coincidence.
Yeah.
That's what's fun about life sometimes.
And that's why you know it's going to be an above average show today, ladies and gentlemen. Slightly above average. We've got a good one. Our psychological check-in, of course. We'll do the social media roundup. We're going to bring back, it's the off season, and it's that time for Pich to dive into the treasure trove of Orlando Magic cards for Magic the Card Gathering. We're going to welcome in Andy in just a little while for 5 with the fam. We will review where we are with the Court Cousins Championship for the NBA playoffs. And don't go anywhere. You scallywags, stick around for the large ending.
Second cousins deserve better than to be called scallywags on this particular program.
They're fantastic. I love them all. And that's a good time to please shout out all of the second cousins and the all-stars on our Patreon. Magic player history, Bowl by the Dawn. It's not okay, K, to say Okiki, Wiffle, Andy, Dylan Holden, Drum, Rafael Perez, Breadhead, Al, Matthew Bell, Dan Young, Bernie Pichet is back, Gloria and Damien, Connor, and Yachty.
Timber! But if a tree falls in the forest somewhere in Vermont and no one's around to hear it, it doesn't make a sound. But I worked hard for that Bernie Pichet.
Does it make maple syrup?
No, but it might have.
Yeah.
So it served its purpose.
And you may have heard there, we had a new Patreon, Bowl by the Dawn, joined at the all-star level, and he bumped us up to $200. That was our goal. So thanks so much. And now the whole point of that goal was to give away more free shit, Pich. So we went ahead and put together a prize package. We've got an Orlando Magic hat in there. I think a German flag. Were we able to fit it?
It's in there.
It's in there. A pencil, some cards, a koozie. I mean, there's just, if you're a Magic fan, it's going to be nice to just have this show up. And if you're on the Patreon, you've got now an opportunity to win a jersey every month and a Magic prize pack. I mean, what could be better? Just $5. Buy us a beer.
It's ready. We've done the first one. Would you like to spin the wheel?
We haven't spun the wheel yet. We're going to do this now in real time.
I've spun it.
Who wins?
Let's see. It's Bill Fulton.
Oh, Bill! Congratulations.
Wow, he's got a great county in Georgia, and now he has an Orlando Magic prize pack, which hopefully is much better to him than anything Atlanta related.
We'll reach out, Bill, and get your contact and send that right away. Thanks so much for the support. Thank you, all of you who are watching, for your support. If you're enjoying the program and you keep coming back, click that subscribe, click that like. We're almost at 1,200 followers, Pich. That's pretty exciting. It's crazy.
We had to really climb to get to 1,000, and now pretty quickly already there. So
on our way to 2,
awesome.
baby.
Unbelievable.
Thank you very much. Let's get into the show. Before any of the hijinks and hilarity, Pich, I love you, man. You're my cousin. It's your birthday. Today of all days, I'm especially interested to know, how are you doing, sir, for the psychological check-in?
Yeah, normally when I have something big to say, I defer my time to you so that I can go second, but I feel like mine might affect yours. So I feel like I must go first. I've selected this picture here that I've put together. This is Cole Anthony. He is on a rusty ship.
Yeah.
And as this metaphor continues, please don't think of your attic or Connecticut as a rusty ship.
Okay.
But he just happens to be on it. But he's got a life vest. He's confident about where he's going. He's happy, smiling. He's got the sunglasses on. Right? You can see off in the distance there. What's he headed towards? That looks like the Dallas Stars logo.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And down there in the right corner, you've got a picture of Coach Mosley when he was with the Dallas Mavericks. All these signs.
Oh. Wait, Cole's not going to
Cole's not going anywhere.
Cole's not going anywhere.
But if I'm in the psychological check-in, I am Cole.
You are
in this,
Cole.
in this vision.
Then you
where
are.
my boat is heading to Dallas. I'm going to be moving a little north of Dallas and getting a job with the Dallas Stars of the NHL.
He's been signed.
Being the operations manager of their practice facility. So it's kind of in my line of work that I've been doing for years, and it's an opportunity to do it again once again at the highest level. I did work for the Boston Bruins for 6 years, so it's pretty much the same role, but not for a team that I hate and in a city I dislike. I don't know. I mean, I don't know Dallas yet, to be fair, but
You don't think you dislike it.
right. It seems like a good time. Seems like there's a lot going on there. It's going to obviously be a little bit of a different thing for me as a human and also for the show. We're going to have to go back to doing remote. We've talked about that a little. We'll talk about it a little bit more next show when we do our last in-studio show before I go. But still a lot of water to get through before I get to where I'm going there. But I'm smiling. I got the glasses on now, and I'm feeling good about this venture. So that's where I'm at, man. There's a lot to unpack in there.
Yeah.
But it's a big smile, sunglasses, and, happy to be giving this a shot. It's going to be fun.
I think my psychological check-in might be taken from the same vacation.
Same
or something.
shoot. Yes. I believe this one was right before his on Cole's Instagram, which is where both these pictures have hailing from.
Yeah. So in mine, Cole he's on the boat. He's got the shades on, but he's again, he has this in-between look on his face. And this was I like these poses because I'm often feeling a mixture of emotion. And that couldn't be more true than today. Well, than yesterday when you broke the news to me that you were moving to Dallas. My initial reaction is just super pumped for you for the opportunity. It's a great place. Seems like a good company that has a lot of opportunity for you. So that's freaking fantastic. But of course, the other look on my face here on the Cole face is I'm not sure. I'm a little uncomfortable. I'm a little sad. I'm losing my best friend. As we grew up, we would see each other a couple times a year. But this is really the first time in our lives where we've been in the same place for an extended period of time and had a lot of time to just hang out.
Yep.
So our friendship has grown. It's been so awesome to live with you, have my best friend hanging out here every day to watch Magic games for a season, just come up or down and always have a homie to kick it with. So it's sad. I'm sad to see you go, but I'm also excited. I'm more overwhelmingly excited for you and the opportunity. I'm excited greedily to visit you in Dallas. Go to watch the Orlando Magic play the Dallas Mavericks, perhaps. That's going to be fun. Go to a Dallas Cowboys game.
Yep.
Go to a bull riding, get some boots, get a hat.
Yep.
It's good things are on the horizon.
I feel you. And I appreciate the support because I do know, and I've unfortunately done this to a number of people over the course of my time. It is very difficult when, you care about somebody and you love where they're going, but you're like, they're not going to be here with me anymore. And it's always tough for me too, because I have to part ways with all those people every time I go and think about leaving that is a difficult choice, but it's something, unfortunately, I've kind of also, I'm not numb to it.
Yeah.
No matter how many times it happens, it just is like, it stinks, but it's part of the reason I have friends and family all across the country, which is something I really appreciate. And there's definitely some people in Texas that are going to find out later today that I'm coming back there, and they're going to be pretty stoked about it.
Yeah. And there's still going to be many more opportunities for us to chill. We'll still kick it hopefully in person 3-4 times a year at least. Court Cousins night is going to continue. So we'll be
Cousins
down
night's
in
still
Orlando.
on. Yep.
Down in Orlando. We might do a version in Dallas too.
We might
Cousins
do
night,
like
Dallas.
when the Magic go on the road and take on like San Antonio, Dallas. Maybe we can make a little triangle to Houston. I don't know. So that's the
possibilities
Texas is bigger
are
than you
endless.
think.
Yeah.
That's not a quick drive.
No, so that's the big news for the psychological check-in. Let us know, folks. How are you doing in the comments? What's your psychological check-in here with the news from Pich, our beloved cousin here, and all of your second cousin? See him in Dallas. Anyone out there listening in Dallas?
Yes. Anybody's
now,
got any hot Dallas tips?
Yeah.
Now's the time to throw them by me.
Yeah.
And since we were talking about my birthday earlier, let's not let that get.
That's true.
My Instagram is THE_PICH for Pich 802. And I am pretty close to 1,000 followers.
That's a good birthday gift.
I'd like to hit that goal.
Yeah.
So if you follow Court Cousins on Instagram, which you should already do,
Yeah.
Court_Cousins, follow them too, by the way. Go ahead and give me a follow, and you can follow me on my journey and where I'm going and everything that I'm doing. And I'm still not done here in New England. I got some stuff to do before we roll out. It's going to be fun. So
I know that's right.
check it out.
Okay. Wow. I don't know how we go on. Can we just end the show now?
No.
Okay.
The show goes.
The
show goes on.
The show must go on. And it will. And it will. We're now going into the social media roundup. The first one is from Orlando Magic Moments. Reading through the Athletics anonymous active player poll, about 100 players, Suggs got 1 vote for best defender. Markel and Franz each got 1 vote for most underrated player. Mose got 2 votes for coach you'd most want to play for, aside from your current coach. Pich, you put this one in here. I mean, not a lot of votes, but it's a vote. You can't vote for yourself out, right? Or can
No,
you vote for
I don't-
guys on your team?
Yeah, I would imagine that is not part of what's going on here. Little surprised about the Suggs vote best defender. Gonna imagine that might come from on the team.
Yeah, right? That's what
I'm
I
not
was...
sure if you can vote for your own team, but the Markel and Franz each getting 1 vote for underrated player is like the perfect thing because they only got 1 vote for most underrated player. So they're underrated in the underrated category, which is perfect. That's the kind of fuel I would need to become a monster next season. And if both those guys can become monsters, we're going to have a nice seed for the playoffs next year, which I would imagine. But I kind of put this one on there because I like the Mose got 2 votes for coach you'd most want to play with. And I think we all know one of those dudes, he currently resides in Dallas, Texas.
Maybe you can talk to him, Pich.
When I was looking up that graphic to try to get Coach Mose wearing the Dallas Mavericks shirt for my psychological check-in, I was noticing it was a slam dunk that he was going to be the next head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. And then they didn't go with him. And I think there's a lot of people around there that are still kind of hurt by that. And the Magic just went right in there and be like, yoink, let me get that good thing that you have, and I will take it and make it mine since you don't want it. So there's still some players from Dallas that want in, and I know everybody always likes to speculate. I know I'm not a big speculation guy.
No, not a big hypothetical guy.
But I would be willing to bet some solid money that Luka Doncic was one of those votes. I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure he is one of those votes.
I feel like
Don't know how you all feel about that, but
Luka Doncic is somewhere like drinking beers and smoking bogues right now and not taking surveys.
that's also possible. I had not considered that.
Yeah, he's...
But either way, it's nice to know that there are 2 players in the NBA that would like to put. I kind of wonder who won that poll.
Yeah, we'll have to go check that out. Suggs, I saw a post. I was trying to find it again. He's like in the top 6% amongst guards in steal percentage and top 10% amongst guards in block percentage. There is now a precedent with Marcus Smart winning Defensive Player of the Year. It had been going to big men for quite some time.
Yeah.
But now we have a precedent with Marcus Smart winning it last year. Jalen Suggs seems like one of those guys on this current trajectory. If he continues and the team continues to get better, he can be in those conversations.
You can definitely be on an all-offensive team.
All defensive team, yeah, absolutely.
That's all I need.
Yeah. It's surprising that he only got 1 well, I guess getting 1 vote for best defender in the league.
With the amount of games that he played this year and considering all the other great defenders in the league, like, look, almost every team would probably vote for your Marcus Smarts. And you can name 5 better defenders than Jalen Suggs right now, probably off the top of your head.
Yeah.
So it's not that crazy. It's kind of cool that he actually got to one person enough that they were like, yeah, he's best defender. And that's what makes me wonder if maybe RJ Hampton put one in there for his boy or something. I'm not really sure, but
I envision it someone
Still
that
fun.
was just got owned. I'm trying to think of who Jalen really owned this year. Probably someone from the Bulls that was just like, man, maybe.
can't pass near this guy.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm Andrew Caruso. I have my headband on. I'm answering the survey. Oh, man, he stole the ball from me. He was so good.
That's spot on.
All right. Talking about, Mosley getting two votes for coach you want to play for. We have the Houston Rockets getting a new coach, and Biased Houston at Biased Houston, Will here, wanted Nick Nurse, but he's not mad at all that they're getting Ime Udoka. We are a real basketball team again, ladies and gentlemen. Welt God chimes in and says, personally, I think this was the best possible hire for the Rockets. W to the front office. And then Pich, you had some caution though.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it is a great hire for them basketball-wise, but not the best move for Houston if you work in the front office and have a hot wife, though.
Oh, man.
Just keeping it real.
No, that's 100. That's totally legitimate. And, look, I've made mistakes. I've cheated on women. I've been to the bottom, and now I'm a completely different human. So I understand what that process is. It took me lots of years and going through therapy and going to A meetings and doing all this stuff. Right. So if Ime Udoka is doing that work and has healed himself and is, coming out the other side, best of luck to him. However, and just talking about our coach Mosley, that guy, he is a tremendous leader. And there was a dumpster fire in Houston as of late. And if Ime Udoka isn't 110% right with his family, with everything going on in his personal life, I don't know if it's the best move for Houston.
You think it could get worse?
I mean, yeah, look, man, I've been exactly where Ime is, so I'm not throwing shade, but that's a dark spot where, when that happened for me, my whole world crumbled down because I had to look in the mirror and realize that I had become a man that I never thought I would ever be. And grappling with that and digging into the root causes of that. And it took time, man.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I think you probably did a lot more to heal about this than he did. I think
that's what I'm saying. It seems like a fast turnaround, knowing what I had to go through to heal the parts of my inner insecurities and everything that was going on that caused me to take those actions.
That public breakup, I think I would hide under a rock for a decade before I thought about coming out. So props to him for coming out.
That takes brass huevos for sure.
It's a big shot. It's a big chance for the Rockets, but basketball wise, it's really a good move. If you just look at it from that perspective.
Yeah. I mean, people loved him.
They got a lot of talent on that roster. They need somebody to harness it.
Yeah.
And he had some pretty meh rosters in Boston that did really well. So
yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hide your wives.
Or maybe your wives are just faithful and won't cheat on you. That could happen too.
I feel like Joker doesn't cheat. He wears his wedding band on his shoe.
No way does this guy cheat. This guy is loyal to a fault. We looked up his wife before the show because I was curious.
Yeah.
Just want to know. Just want to see what a 2-time MVP's got.
Going on. Yeah.
That's seems like a nice lady.
She's like a lady though.
Their love feels real.
You'd be just walking around and you'd see that chick and you wouldn't even really necessarily turn your head.
Okay, well if Nikola Jokic wasn't as tall as he was, you'd see him around and not think he's an athlete either.
That's true.
So I think we're living perfect here.
So how's that analogy work? Are you saying she's got something hidden there that we don't know about?
I'm saying that I think she's a more attractive lady than he is an attractive man.
Yeah.
She fits her part of this scenario more than he does. He doesn't have the body of a 2-time MVP. He's sneaky.
Yeah.
He's talented.
And so maybe
I would have to say might be the most talented player in the NBA. Most talented.
Perhaps.
Imagine if he actually hit the gym, how scary he'd be dropping 50 points a game. But he don't need to. He just goes off and rips butts and lives his life, right?
We're going.
I love it.
Yeah. No, but that you just put that post. It's interesting that I didn't know. I mean, did he just start doing that? Wearing his wedding ring on his.
I don't know, man. I
sneaker?
just saw
That's
it
cool.
and thought it was kind of cool that he does it.
Interesting.
I've never heard of anybody else doing
So
it.
he's the opposite of Ime Udoka, is what you're saying.
It seems like that
Yeah.
could be true. Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of tell the way that Joker just looks and acts. He seems so self-assured and just okay with everything he's got.
I was
going on
looking
in
for
life.
it the last game they played, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, look at that. I mean,
true.
because I would wonder, I don't wear a lot of jewelry.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not married, so I don't have one. But
Yeah.
like, I would be annoyed by jewelry,
You're married
especially
to
when
the
playing.
hustle.
Like, people take it off.
Yeah.
Like, what are people doing now? The people doing those like silicone ones?
Yeah,
Are they
those,
doing
like,
the tattoo,
rubber
like,
band. Yeah.
But like, he's like, no, I'm just gonna wear this still, but I'm gonna wear it down here where it's convenient for me.
On
And
my
I
foot.
like it. There's not a lot of Orlando Magic basketball. I don't know what you
No,
want. I see stuff on the internet. I'm like, I got to bring it to social media around it. What do you want from me?
You're doing the Lord's work, Pich. But the biggest news in the Orlando Magic community probably was the crowning of the Rookie of the Year, Paulo Banchero, 2022 to 23 Kia NBA Rookie of the Year. I don't know why I said Kia. They're not sponsoring.
Well, they're not sponsoring us, but they do sponsor the award, so it's somewhat appropriate. Yeah, this kind of felt like the kind of crowning when, like, back in the day, Edward the First would have a son named Edward, and you'd be like, that guy's gonna be king one day, and then he just is.
Yeah,
You know?
like no shit.
Yeah, no shit. Exactly. Like, you don't want. I'm not taking anything away from Paulo and the great season and stuff that he had, but honestly, if he wasn't named Rookie of the Year, that's when this would have been mega huge, big time news,
Right.
because it just seemed that obvious. So,
Well,
congrats to him for putting himself that much out there, that I can live in a world where I was that confident that, like, I would have bet everything I own and everything you own on it months ago.
Yeah. And we didn't, unfortunately, bet enough. I think I bet
No, we did not.
$20 on it or something stupid.
Right.
I needed more. Congratulations, Paulo. Just a great season. We're seeing what he's going to bring to the floor and the mindset as he's been receiving these awards. Always humble. I loved that the ceremony when he was interviewed on TNT with the guys. He had the whole crew. He was in what looked like the film room.
Yep.
Mom and dad right behind him, sister, some of his buddies from growing up, Coach Mosley, a bunch of the Orlando Magic staff. And at the ceremony where they presented him with the trophy, the whole Orlando Magic staff came down. They all had their Paulo shirts on.
Yep.
It just seems like the whole community is really circling the wagons around Paulo, and he's embracing that and reciprocating that love.
Yeah.
And it's just so good to see a young man like this with such a good head on his shoulders. I couldn't be happier for the future of this.
Yeah,
squad with him.
for me, it was as impressed as I was with seeing that, oh, this guy's a bucket.
Right.
Like, he's going to get to the line. I think the thing I was most impressed with from him this season was what I saw off the court, who he was, how he's bonding with those guys, how he seems like the exact opposite of a guy who will go on live TikTok with a weapon in a club while on the road.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Be as far away from that as possible. And I feel that's what we got in P5. Congratulations, sir. Well done. Love what I'm seeing.
Absolutely. Well deserved. I was a little pissed off. Some clip got shared of someone on ESPN in one of the interviews that he did. I forget who was interviewing him. Asked him a question about hypothetically getting Victor Wembanyama on the Magic. It's like, what the fuck? Like, this is this kid's moment.
Yeah.
And you're asking him about a hypothetical situation that probably won't exist. And why? Why?
Because unfortunately, a lot of people in the media, who we are not a part of, they're looking for some shock value question, right? There's a lot of canned, basic ass questions.
It's not even shocking, though.
There's
It's
a lot of stuff you can ask people in those settings that's just very basic, right? You wouldn't even know who the person it is asking it. So there's no glam. Some of those guys now, they want a shine.
What do you think about the number one pick that's going to be coming up?
They want to be that guy that breaks Giannis Antetokounmpo by asking him if the season is a failure. You know how popular that clip is now and how that is wrapped up, because that guy decided I'm going to be an asshole for the second straight year and ask him about if this season's a failure. It led to this amazing take from Giannis. That's what they're trying to get, you know?
Yeah.
So I get that every once in a while they take some wild swings, but yeah, not necessary to do right then. But I've seen bigger swings and misses by reporters, so I let that one slide.
I'll take P5 against anyone coming in this year's draft. I think we got our future star right now. When bananas who? Let's go, Paulo Banchero, baby.
Agreed.
All right, so next one we have Wagner Brudderstown, Vucci Man. He's retweeting something from Cortez. Cortez says, I want all fans to stop putting Anthony Edwards in trades challenges. Minnesota is not that damn stupid. Hashtag raised by Wolves. And Vucci Man replies, they traded 5 first-round picks for Gobert. They may be that stupid.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced Vucci Main.
Vucci Main.
But yeah, I saw this one. I just laughed. I totally agree. They may be that dumb. Sometimes when you make a dumb move, you continue to make dumb moves to get out of that hole.
Yeah.
You know, like you're in a hole and all you have is a hose, and the next thing you start getting it wet, and the next thing you know, you're going to drown. Like, I mean, that seems like the Wolves could be in that mode, because something's going to have to change there, and it's going to mean the moving of some players.
Yeah.
And so that means they have to land on some teams, and we're some teams. So what's up? Like, you got to ask, right? Like if Anthony Edwards is on the market, I know he had a little bit of an issue there with some people in Denver after the game throwing a chair.
Whatever.
You know, unfortunate situation, but I think all teams would be dumb to not ask and see what the Wolves are interested in. Because I would imagine their asking price is probably down now.
What?
Down?
Well,
down in general, because they know that they made this mistake with Gobert, so everyone else is going to try to rip them off again.
Yeah.
So
that means their asking price is up, I would think. I mean, they need to recuperate those 5 picks. If they trade if they were to trade Anthony Edwards, that is the piece that you cannot. You have to hold on to that.
But if I could trade picks for Anthony Edwards right now, only picks, fucking do it.
Of course. You have to move some type of salary.
If you want your 5 picks back, I'll give you 5 picks right now.
Yeah.
5 picks in JI. See ya.
Yeah, to make the, like, JI and Gary to make the, although he's still on his rookie contract. So you wouldn't even really have to move that much.
What are we talking about?
In terms to match contract. Yeah, you know, if they have to be holding on to that, like it's the last piece of detritus after a shipwreck that's gonna, like, that needs to be the door that they're pushing Jack off just so that bitch can stay alive.
Okay.
That's what they need to be clinging to Anthony Edwards.
So he stays on the door and Cat gets shoved off?
Exactly.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. That's different.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. If anyone, you got to give up everybody else except Anthony Edwards. But it is an intriguing question, which I cite here from Johnny Footlong. The Orlando Magic, he says, can get $30 million of cap space with 3 moves. They can release Jonathan Isaac, decline the Harris option, decline MCW. So the decision is, are you better off with those players, or can that money be better spent? And I just put that question out to second cousins out there. I said, what do y'all think? Trying to go one more time around on the Isaac merry-go-round, or are we ready to make a move for a player? Thanks so much for the interaction. Almost
people had thoughts?
3,500 views on this post, and like 30 comments. It was a little bit split. I would say majority like Anthony Unwin, who's a shout out second cousin. He says, we have no reason to free up space this season unless the front office have a specific target in mind. I say run it back. Let Paulo and Franz and Kel do their thing. If we add shooting through the draft and free agency, then it's all gravy. I liked any post that was aligned with that ethos.
See that.
I chose not to heart a couple.
Yep.
That were more in the boat of, hey, let's try to go after Dame or Clay or Mikal Bridges or fill in Anthony Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I just don't think it's realistic for a guy like Anthony Edwards to be got.
Yeah.
And second, I just think that my enthusiasm as a fan is a little too much. I need to just have a little bit more patience, as you always preach, Pich. All right? I need to listen to the all-wise and mighty Pich and just have patience, calm down. We got to run this back one more year. Let's get one more year of development. Bring in maybe 2 more young guys from the draft, see if one of them hits. You know, if it's really about like one of Caleb Houston or one of these 2 guys that we're bringing in this year. Can one of those 3 guys hit? Can, Jalen Suggs take that leap? I think that's really what this year is about. And then maybe next season you can talk me into trying to make some moves in the offseason when we don't have high draft picks.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. I don't feel like we need to move now. We talked in an earlier show about J.I.'s contract and how if he makes it to sometime in January, I think is when he really gets the money.
I think it was December, actually. Well, I don't know.
Something like that. Either way, we can get a little bit into the season to see if he's going to play or before we have to decide whether we're giving him that money. And by the way, I think the answer is no. Like, I'm leaning very heavily towards no.
Really?
Don't get the money. Please take our jersey off. Get out of our system. I'm done with Jonathan Isaac. I'm done with guys like Zion. I'm done with guys like Kawhi. They can play. They're very great. They're some of the greatest NBA players maybe when they can play. Yep. I need to rely on guys hitting the court and playing more often. It's been a problem for this franchise for a long time. He reminds me of that past. He reminds me of that. I'm afraid every time he moves, he's going to get hurt past. I don't want that to be part of our future.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he's just the face of it. And I want that face gone.
Yeah.
And if it means we got this much cap room too, I love it. But yeah, I don't think we need to make that move this offseason unless somebody really wants to take that chance.
Yeah.
I'll put it out there right now. Hey, other NBA teams, if you're interested in giving Jonathan Isaac a chance, look, his upside is massive.
Yeah.
But you know the downside.
All defensive player
so,
potentially.
What do you think? Are you interested? Mm-hmm. I'm sure the phone lines are open. I don't want to speak for our guys in the booth, but I'm pretty sure their line would be open if somebody wanted to get interested in Jonathan Isaac and taking that off our books and giving us another roster spot. I just don't know if it's out there, but the upside is huge. If somebody let this be somebody else's issue is kind of my process. Like, I'm done worried about that. This is a Penny Hardaway jersey, by the way. It will never be a Jonathan Isaac jersey. Stop with the one, bro. You ain't him.
Wow. I did not intend this to be a Jonathan Isaac conversation because, as you know, I don't talk about injured players, and I think he's still currently injured.
They're considering him to be ready for the season coming up.
Right.
So, to me,
maybe he's not. Maybe he's not. Okay, I can talk about him then. I'm of the mind that I've been on this Jonathan Isaac merry-go-round for 2.5, what is it, 3, going on 3 years now, it feels like.
Sure.
I'm going to ride this sucker one more time just to freaking see. Like, I'm not going to give up at this point. I want to see the beginning of the season. If he comes back like we saw him, let's give it one more go. But, this turned into like a Jonathan Isaac conversation, and I really didn't intend it to be that. I intended it more to be like, do you want to try to free up some space and move for a player, or are you running it back? What's your mindset? But it did turn in the way that I phrased it with the Jonathan Isaac merry-go-round. But Magic 24/7 0123 brings up a good point, and he always does. There are other ways to get some money besides moving Jonathan Isaac. You could get $24 million by waiving and stretching OKK's contract and declining the options for Bowl, MCW, and Schofield. So you could also get $29 million by doing the same thing, waiving and stretching OKK, declining Bowl, MCW, and then trading one of the first round picks. Or I would even add in there, hey, there's $13 million really easily gettable if you don't want to pick up Gary Harris's option.
Mm-hmm. There are lots of options that don't include
there are more options than just the $17 million, I believe it is, for Jonathan Isaac this year.
Yeah.
That's our biggest contract right now.
Right.
So it's the biggest chip to fall, but there are other ways to get, $24, $29, $30 million that don't include Jonathan Isaac. So I think at this point we might as well ride it out. We've waited this damn long.
Yeah. I think I'm in the minority, but there are definitely other ways to get there if that's the way you want to go. I don't think that's the way our front office is leaning.
No.
But I do think we can upgrade by getting rid of some of these dudes and getting other dudes that might be on more affordable contracts going long term or just short term contracts until we have to sign the other players. That would be good to just freshen up at least the back end of the roster or the bench area.
Sure.
And I wouldn't mind seeing them do that. And I think that's about the ceiling of my expectations for what they'll do as far as player movement, aside from our draft picks.
And as we talked about with Andy, which we already did, but is in the future. So the wonder of editing.
Wait, can you see the future?
Yes,
see,
a
if
little
you've been
bit.
holding out,
Yeah.
bro. This sucks. Like,
I know that the segment with Andy that's coming up that we're going to talk a little bit about too. We've got to extend Cole if we want to. We've got to extend Markelle. So there's other things that we need to do potentially with some of this this cap space moving forward. So what do you think we should do, ladies and gentlemen? Are we going to kind of stay pat and with the squad, or are we going to free up some room in any of these various ways that we could make some money and maybe bring in a player or a couple players, as Pich said, to kind of round out the rotation moving into the year? What do you think? Let us know in the comments.
oh, that's a good one. Oh, I don't know about that. That's me responding to their comments.
And right now, we are going into the segment called 5 with the Fam. If you're over on the Patreon, on the second cousin level, you have the opportunity to come on the show, chew the cud with us. Is that what they say?
Cows are into cud. They'll chew it. Yeah.
Okay.
Chew the fat. Sometimes people do.
Yeah, you can chew things with us, and we'll talk about the Orlando Magic. So we're happy to be joined right now by our good friend, second cousin, Andy.
Chop it up.
We're now so pumped to be welcoming in our good friend, our second cousin, Andy. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
Thanks so much for taking the time, sir. And as we always do, Andy's a good friend of ours. He's family. He's a second cousin. We're curious, how are you doing, sir, for the psychological check-in?
I feel like Cole, after he hits a game winner, just had a lot of challenges recently that I was able to, handle and, really kind of push myself. So I feel great right now, for sure.
No big deal. Just educating the armed forces and protecting this country. Thank you, sir, for your service.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations, man. That's awesome that you just got through that. I'm sure it was stressful, but now you can sit back and appreciate the reward of all that hard work. So well done.
Yeah, sometimes people just kind of cruise through life and they're hanging out and they like being in the plains, right? Like there's no mountains to climb. It's just just flat,
Smooth
but
sailing.
sometimes they don't realize how exciting it is to be able to go rise up over those mountains and either enjoy the view from the top, cruise down the bottom, look back and see where you've been. You know what I mean? I like anybody who likes to get over a mountain. So
What a beautiful extended metaphor, Pich.
that's what I do.
Love it.
All right. No more figurative language here. Let's get right into it. This is 5 with the Fam. Andy is one of our supporters on the Patreon, on the second cousin tier. And so we've got a question for him, and he has got a question for us. Now, we flipped the coin prior to this, and we're just going ad lib. We're going off the top. So, Andy, here is the question we have for you, sir. Who do you think, according to Andy, who do you believe is the most slept on Magic player right now? Or if you'd like to interpret it this way, who do you think is being slept on kind of moving into next season? Who do you think is going to be the player that isn't getting the pub that everyone is going to really be floored by?
When I first saw the question, I thought it was going to be who's the biggest dog off the court. But now I see that you're looking for a different version of slept on player. Go on.
I didn't even get that.
Slept on
Yeah.
could be referred to as a sexual.
Oh.
It's weird when I have to explain a potentially sexual joke to you. Usually you're all over that.
Some of this will get cut, I'm sure.
Yeah. Who do you think is not getting the respect they deserve amongst the entire basketball community?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that answer. I like that last caveat, because I was gonna say somebody that I think we've been pretty high on. I've been pretty high on the whole year. That's Mr. Jalen Suggs, number 4.
Okay.
I'm a big fan, and I love he just has to stay healthy for me. If he can not get concussions and not get hurt, I really think he could be all defensive team, definitely a starter, fringe all-star maybe, in his peak years. And I don't think many people outside of the Magic community are talking about that. And I hope he gets that starting spot next year to really showcase that.
So yeah, that you bring up the only issue that has been with Jalen Suggs is the games played. So he got 48 games in his rookie year, 53 games in his sophomore campaign, dealt with various injuries kind of on and off. But once he came back at the end of the season and got that consistency, you could see what was coming. So you're a firm believer. Do you see Jalen Suggs starting day one next season, Andy? Is that kind of where you're at right now?
I hope so. I hope we do see that. I really do. Yeah, unless we draft Scoot, right? I don't see anyone taking that spot from him next year.
Yeah, I guess it is. We're 16 days ahead of the ping pong balls, so
Yeah.
this conversation could go differently in
Sure.
In a couple weeks.
I think there's possibilities of other people we'd potentially draft that could take that spot in the starting lineup, but I think Suggs may have it day one and have a shot at it. I thought he was going to get it towards the end of the season here, but his durability is, a little bit of a question mark because he goes so hard. I think a lot of players from college, they always are going too fast when they get to the NBA, and that's where they turn the ball over a lot and stuff like that. And he got his turnovers down this year.
Yep.
So I think as the game slows down for him, maybe he'll spend less time on the court than the Libman mobs sweeping up sweat, and you love the hustle. But we also need you to make sure that you can stay healthy for at least 70 games.
You guys don't understand how nervous I get every time this man hits the floor.
Right.
I'm like, he's gonna get a concussion, and he did,
Right. He did get a concussion this year. I forgot about that.
He goes hard.
Yeah, he does go so
he
hard.
falls hard on the floor, man. It's scary.
Yeah, it's part of what makes him so damn good, his tenacity, but also it's a double-edged sword. He's maturing, and he kind of understands that. It looked like he was playing a little bit more, I don't want to say safely, but a little bit more in control.
Cautious.
Yeah, more cautiously. I mean, his per 36 numbers are looking pretty damn good. He was up to almost 33% from three, which was a big worry after shooting 21% in his rookie stint. So I don't see any rookie, even Scoot Henderson. Sorry, everybody. I don't see any rookie coming in and usurping Jalen Suggs day one. Maybe in a year, but Jalen has gone through 2 years now of growing pains and development. And like you said, it takes time for guys to make it in the NBA. Something just in now,
I'm
Pich?
getting word from Brandon Miller's camp who
Oh.
says, "Oh, really?" to you, and then leaves it at that.
Now,
All
Andy,
right, here,
it is time, sir. You have a question for us.
Yes. My question is, we have to re-sign Markel, right? He's an expiring contract. I feel like that's a no-brainer. Do you guys agree or disagree? Any thoughts on there? And if we do re-sign him, what kind of contract do we give him?
The bobble says yes.
Oh wait, he looked like he was saying no.
It did look like he was saying no for a second.
Okay,
Okay,
he
he's saying
didn't
yes.
understand the question at
He
first.
did-
But
okay.
then he turned his hip. He went to a shake. Yeah, I mean, it would be stupid not to.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be gross negligence, and all faith should be lost in the front office if they don't. I mean, it feels so done. I hadn't even thought about this as being a question. So it's interesting that you bring it up because I wonder if there is any doubt by anyone around. Or maybe, like you suggested earlier, if we got Scoot, does that mean no Markel? And I don't think that's a good move. I think
I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah.
he's been the straw that stirred the drink when he's in there. And we've shown that we're a very good team when he plays with us. So why wouldn't you reward that and want that to continue? Let's go.
He is on his final year this season of his 3-year, $50 million deal. He'll be making $17 million next year, which is 12.7% of our cap, if that means anything to anyone out there. So he is up for an extension this year, but because he would become an unrestricted free agent if we don't lock him in before whatever the deadline is. I don't know off the top of my head. If I'm looking at the rankings of various guards around the league and what guys are making, I mean, these numbers for point guards are gaudy. Ja Morant, who got it pushed in last night, making $33.5 million. Shea's making $33 million. A guy you just mentioned, Andy, De'Aaron Fox, making $32 million. Those numbers are too much, but I think in the $20 million range, I'm okay with. You know, you got guys like Spencer Dinwiddie making 20, Marcus Smart making 18, DeJounte Murray, Derek White. I think Markel's better than those guys, but you gotta hope there's a little bit of that trust and that loyalty that Weltman and Hammond have built up with Markel, having gone and got him as a reclamation project when Philly kind of just turned their back on him. And really there was gross negligence the way that the more that we hear about that situation, about how Philadelphia's front office handled him and really just kind of hung him out to dry. It was a dark moment, and hey, come over to the Magic. Take your time. Mm-hmm. We believe in you. You can be a leader. You're still a guy. And he's now established himself as that. Will that mean, a little bit of a hometown? I know it's not his hometown. He's in the D.C. area, but a little bit of your favorite team rub there?
Yeah, see, Kel headed out on that road, and instead of running into mountains, he ran into some deep valleys.
Yes.
But he came out he came out of that so much so that he's now climbing up, even though there's no mountain to climb. He's that nice.
Yeah.
So we've got to be a part of his rise because we're a part of the turnaround. And without having to actually sign him before this season begins, I think we're comfortable to get into this season before we make that extension. I don't think it needs to be done right away. And that way, in case, we got Scoot and he's working out and it's fantastic, we can reevaluate. But whatever it is we need to do, I think Kel's got to be part of the future here. I think we all kind of consider him. I think people have been saying, oh, it's only Paulo and Franz and everybody else is movable. And it's like, I think we kind of extend it to Kel. A lot of people like to include Wendell in there.
Yeah. He's locked in.
Personally, I like to consider Cole in there. Suggs wants to be in the conversation. I mean, look, that's already 5-6 guys.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point you do need to get another guy to move up. And if you don't get him in the draft, some of those pieces may have to go other places. But I'd love to see Markel be at the helm when we're winning championships, winning playoff games, things of that ilk. So I'm all for Fultz. I think most of the Magic community would be too. I would imagine you echo that since you brought this question to the table.
Absolutely. We have to sign him. We have to re-sign him, I think.
Do you have a limit? Have you thought of any of the contract numbers? What would be reasonable? I'm looking at Lonzo Ball's contract when he signed with the Bulls a couple years ago. That was a 4-year, $80 million deal.
Well, the Bulls give people way too much money.
They do. They do. But that's, that's like $20 million a year. I think that's, somewhere between a 4-year, $80 to $90 million is where I would feel fine with it.
Well, they could give him that shorter term contract, like a 3-year deal, right? If they gave him an extension and gave him a 3-year deal, then by the time that deal runs up, that's when we're going to have to pay Paulo, really go deeper on whoever we draft this year. So timing wise, then we can figure out did this work the last couple of years with Kel, or do we have a better option? I mean, I don't know what Kel's age is. I know he's still under 26.
24, I think.
Yeah, he's
24, I think.
So 3 years from now, he'll still be prime years. So comfortable to then go back to the table at that point and see. And if he's part of this thing, he seems like the kind of guy that would take that hometown discount to stay part of the team. He's not going to be money hungry and go, oh, I got to get another $5 million out of my next contract. Oh, I'd rather just re-sign with the Magic and stay a part of what we're doing here. And I feel like he seems like that kind of guy. And I feel like our team is building that kind of camaraderie where a lot of guys might take a discount to keep this nucleus together if necessary. So I'm not too worried about the contracts going forward.
That'd be nice.
It's hard to get grubby about money. You live in Florida, for Christ's sakes. Let's go.
Bonus point, no state income tax. So we're a little more competitive there.
I'm headed for that myself.
Yep. No, that got to be a selling point.
Yep.
All right, homie. Thanks so much, dude. Thank you so much for joining us, Andy. It's been a pleasure, man. Thank you for all the support. As always, you're an OG, and we really appreciate everything you've been doing for us, man. Thank you.
Thank you guys for everything you do. It's a pleasure.
Thanks, Andy. Magic. Go Orlando Rays.
Yeah, go Orlando Rays. Let's go.
Sick hat. Thank you so much, Andy. It was great of you to stop by. Can't wait to kick it again with you next year for Court Cousins Night.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed that 5 minutes with the fam, you would enjoy the extended cut of us talking with Andy. If you're one of our Patreons, the entire video of our chat will be there. About a half an hour.
Yeah.
With some just general chat and his check-in. And we did a few questions that you won't see here on the show. So become a Patreon and get some of this juicy extras. And also the outtakes are there, which is always a good time. We're making some outtakes right now. some fresh outtakes coming right out the oven for you.
Let's go into our Court Cousins Championship. So the belt is right here, Pich.
On the floor. Yes, I see you're respecting it.
That's disrespectful. That is disrespectful. But I wanted to grab it so that I could have it right here. I won the last shootout, which was the Little Red Cups, which I went to college for.
Shootouts are going to get harder in the future. I just thought about it.
Oh shoot! Yeah, that's gonna be difficult.
We have to remix that whole.
Yeah, but the last round of the Court Cousins Championship has to do with our playoff bracket and the winner of the playoff bracket. And both of our black brackets have been a little bit destroyed because of the crazy
Jimmy fucking Butler.
The crazy parity that's been happening in the NBA. It's a great time to be a fan, though, honestly. When you have 8s beating 1s, I think that makes the NBA playoffs really freaking exciting because that's not supposed to happen. That doesn't really happen in 7-game series.
Not usually, but I'm going to go ahead and quote this one that we did not use from Social Media Roundup, which is the Particle Man.
Yes.
And he checks in with the top 2 seeds in the East with gargantuan choke jobs and back-to-back nights. Second year in a row, there's not a single great team in the NBA, bunch of mediocre teams, and a couple good ones that are extremely flawed. I am going to guess that you sort of have to agree with that based on what we're seeing right now, or do you just think that it's not because teams are flawed, that it's all the teams are good? Where do you land?
I think the Milwaukee Bucks. We didn't watch a lot of the Milwaukee Bucks outside. I did. Outside of when they played us. I thought they disappeared. I mean, when they played us, they beat us with their bench. So I underestimated their bench, and they showed out on me. I just don't think that they were playing. They weren't. It's kind of an example of you got to get hot the right time to win a chip. And even though I think that the Bucks have more talent and a much more well-rounded team than the Miami Heat,
Miami had more heat, is what you're saying?
Barely. I really don't like Miami's roster at all, and especially without Tyler Hero, who I also hate, but is an important scoring piece for them. It was pretty much just the Jimmy Butler show. You're telling me you couldn't shut down that guy and your bench couldn't beat who I don't even know. Like Oladipo got injured. Who's Kevin Love? Like what? Who's coming off the Miami Heat bench right now?
First of all, I think Jimmy Butler's part was being played by Jamie Foxx, who was playing Michael Jordan in a movie.
Okay.
Because he couldn't be stopped, and I don't understand what it was about the Bucks that they couldn't be bothered to guard him.
I mean, you have one of the best on-ball defenders according to NBA players in Drew Holiday. You don't want to throw a double team at him. I mean,
I wouldn't let him shoot like from game 3 on. I would have double teamed him, got the ball out of his hands, let somebody else beat us.
Yeah.
But time and time again, this man found the ball and got shots, open shots. That game, that shot that he hit to like tie the game at the end, falling away, like. Sometimes a person is just unconscious and there's nothing you can do to stop him.
He had a couple
that's
games
what
like
happened.
that.
The Bucks ran into a juggernaut human who decided we're not losing. And I am convinced somebody has Jimmy Butler's family locked up somewhere. And they told him, if you guys don't win the NBA championship, everybody dies. That's how important, that's how intense this man is playing right now. And I got to say, even though I'm mad about it, you got to tip your hat to it. The guy's unbelievable right now, and he is carrying this entire franchise and team right now on his back. But they're meeting the Knicks in the second round, which is something I would like to talk about.
Jimmy Butler, he's done this before though. He's been on. He elevates his game in the playoffs, unbelievably.
Play like this normally, bro.
Talking about the series that the Knicks just go past the Cleveland Cavaliers. A guy that we had forgotten doesn't elevate, but kind of goes the other way. Donovan Mitchell.
D-Mitch.
There was a lot of talk about people wanting Donovan Mitchell. and bringing him to the Orlando Magic. And damn, it looked like we really should have at times during the season when he was going off and getting 60-point games and shit like that.
Right.
But on all that amazing regular season play and the Cavs being a really good squad during the regular season, kind of forget that Donovan Mitchell has had a little bit of an albatross around his neck, disappearing in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's got a Dan Marino effect for those of you Miami Dolphin fans. You can identify with that.
With the Utah Jazz teams, they had been favored heavily sometimes to be coming out of the West, and they had some serious choke series where they would give up leads, and Donovan Mitchell would be kind of nowhere to be found. And I only watched a couple of the games of this. One of them with you out at the bar. That I didn't even. Donovan Mitchell was. He was cold. He wasn't there.
Sometimes you're like, is Donovan Mitchell out there?
Right.
Oh, yeah, he is. But
a guy that did elevate his game, though, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart.
Yep.
These types of players for the Knicks are elevating their game. They're rising to the moment.
Oh, Josh always goes hard.
Oh, yeah, he does. He's like a hardcore hustle player. And both of those guys, having played together at Villanova, they love each other. They work so well together in the backcourt. So the Knicks, I will admit, they have overachieved all of my expectations for them. I was talking shit to all of my Knicks fans friends in the area. I said the Magic are going to be better than the Knicks this year. That was before Markelle Fultz went down with the broken toe.
Okay.
I still think we would have been there. This is giving me a lot of optimism because I feel like we can beat the Heat. I feel like we can beat the Knicks. Like, it's giving me some optimism for next year. I'm already looking forward to let's get this Magic 2023-24 season going.
Yeah, when I was up in Vermont recently, happened to run in, if you can believe it, I happened to run into a Knicks fan wearing a Grimes jersey, which I was bananas. Why would you have that? But then a guy from Cleveland walked in, and they were talking about the series a little bit. It was pleasant, and then they left, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm so much happier being an Orlando Magic fan right now than being a fan of two teams, one of whom is going to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks or the Heat are going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Let that wash over you for a second.
Yeah.
That's dumb, right?
Yeah.
Because those teams are peaking right now. That's it, bro. Like, unless the Knicks add somebody else, like RJ Barrett's not the guy. He played well in a few games in this series for them.
And
but he's not the guy. Obi Toppin. I mean, their roster's not good.
No.
Like, they have two really great players.
They're stuck at 4
and they
or 5.
have a couple of other things. Yeah, they're stuck in that 4 or 5 region.
Yeah.
And right now they're getting lucky to be meeting the Heat in the second round. And is that lucky? Because they have Michael Jordan on their team now.
Yeah.
So, like, if Jimmy Butler's family's on the line, no one should want to play the Heat. So, but either way, if the Heat make the Eastern Conference Finals too, you look at it and you go, yeah, they're not as good as we can be next year.
Right.
So it does give me great optimism to look at the East and be like, the number 1 seed's tumbling. The Celtics were having trouble with the Hawks.
Yep.
We're going to be in this conversation. We're going to be in this stuff next year, whether we finished, 7th or whether we finished 3rd. We're in the mix because it doesn't matter what number is by your team name, apparently, in the NBA playoffs this year. You just have to come and bring it come playoff time. And we don't know if a lot of our players could bring it come playoff time because we've never been in it.
Yeah.
With this group.
I feel like we definitely got some guys that will rise to the occasion. I mean, Franz has played in some big games in those international tournaments with Germany. He hit some big shots in the FIBA Euro Cup or whatever the hell it was.
Right, all the other have fun things with your home country league thing.
Yeah.
No one cares about it. So our bet for the championship is really coming down to what's going on in the West.
Right. We both had Milwaukee winning the championship.
We did. So the East is done. And everything else was pretty much the same, right? I think we had Philly playing Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals, both of us.
Did I do that? I didn't go with my Celtics?
You did not.
Wow. That is... What an asshole I am. Yeah, so I guess... damn, now I got to root. No, so we both had Philly.
It's a wash.
So
doesn't
it's a
matter
wash.
what happens over there.
The Eastern Conference is a wash.
Does not matter anymore.
So it all comes down for the belt to the Western Conference.
I did have the Knicks beating the Cavs, but that's not really going to matter in the long.
That'll get you some first round points.
Yeah.
But what really matters is going to be this second round series between Denver and Phoenix because I have Denver getting to the finals.
Right, and I have Phoenix getting to the finals.
So whoever wins that series...
Because we also have Golden State, both of us, in the Western Conference Finals in the bottom. So that could still happen. As we record this, Game 7 is happening.
Oh.
So,
okay.
The bottom, we both had kind of the same things. So it really just is. This is the last opportunity for one of us to get an advantage. Hey, and what better way for an Orlando Magic podcast to decide who wins their championship than a Denver Nuggets versus Phoenix Suns series, right?
Man, what have you been enjoying about these NBA playoffs? There's definitely some really interesting storylines happening. That Sacramento Golden State series has been pretty freaking awesome.
It's been interesting. It's been interesting for sure. Please don't be one of those weirdos that's like, I don't watch basketball unless the Orlando Magic are part of it. There's still basketball going on. Be a part of it. Watch it.
Yep.
And enjoy it because next year we're going to be in it. So.
And last thing I know you want to talk about, Pich. Want to talk about that Lakers 40-point beatdown.
Ooh, man. Hey, man. Look. I know everybody feels some sort of way about the Los Angeles Lakers, don't you? And I get it.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
Yeah, we don't like them.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But I rooted for the Los Angeles Lakers in the series. I think most of America, I think most of the world did.
Yeah.
We good in the West, bro?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Maybe he was good in the West because he wanted to get golfing early this season. John Morant does not golf, I don't think.
Does he?
He doesn't seem like a golfer. He doesn't give me golf vibes, but maybe he can golf. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, it was nice to see them get humbled. It was nice to see Dylan Brooks be a classy guy and skip out on some interviews after games.
Oh, yeah.
They got exposed there, and I think this is going to end up being good for Memphis in the long run, right? And I think like even if the Kings don't pull this one off about Golden State, I think it's the same mindset. Sometimes you have to have that like expectation, not succeed, and then all of a sudden it pushes you to realize you have to go that much harder. And I think Memphis is going to go back to the drawing board a little bit because there's no argument that they're super talented. And I know they were missing a few players in the series that could have been key cogs for them, but they needed this reality check of, hey, you still had like your three best players in there, and you got rolled like that badly in a decisive game. Bruh.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe shut your mouth next time.
Yeah.
Just go out there and play. You're in a small market. America and everybody else should get behind this team. They got nice colored jerseys, some of the most exciting young players in the game, inside and outside. They got something for everybody. But it's the chatter. It's the attitude. It needs to take a seat in the back. And that's why I'm glad they were humbled. The Lakers just piled shit in their mouth last night. And it was excellent. I loved it. Woo! You won't respect until they get 40. And then the Lakers win by 40. Wow, script writers. Well done. Love it.
Yeah, they need to get back to that heart and hustle DNA.
Just to be clear, the Lakers could lose now, though.
Yeah, we're done with that.
Just to be clear.
You're done.
The rooting for LeBron is over.
I'm rooting for the Kings though, but with De'Aaron Fox with that broken finger, he said, he's trying to downplay it. Like that's the type of player I want. A guy that's not making too much of the injury. He's just you could tell though.
Don't make me get out the Foxometer.
You could tell it was impacting his play. He wasn't as ball dominant last night for that game.
He's definitely different.
He's taking a back seat. So
but it worked well in the last game.
Hey, let's see if they can do it again.
Still be an impact player, even though that part of his game isn't quite there. So
and then get in that second round and beat those Lakers.
He's a special kind of talent.
Yeah. It is now very special time, Pich. I've missed this segment. Magic the Card Gathering. We're big fans of the collecting hobby, the card collecting hobby, specifically basketball cards, but Pich has an extensive collection of football and baseball as well.
Not as much baseball anymore. Football, definitely still a good amount. Hockey, a good amount.
Ah, that's right. The old puck,
How could you forget?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really starting to now. If I go to a card shop, I'm kind of basketball centric with like a minor in hockey and football because it's a lot to try to collect all that stuff, and some of the stuff in the hobby is expensive. So
heck yeah, it's coming back to reality. But if you're in the hobby too, check out Court Cousins on eBay. Pich puts up a bunch of cards whenever we do box openings on Card Cousins. We put them up there. But the way that this segment works is we spin a wheel of many different categories such as background crashers, rookies, who the hell is this, why, just why. Those are among some of the categories. Can't remember all of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun ones. Just, before Lando.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Guys before they were the Magic.
So we spin the wheel, and based on the category, we dig into our respective collections of Magic cards and pull out a card or object that relates to that category or has a story. Yes, I had to put a caveat on there. Or object.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
I don't know what you've got planned for today's events. All right, well, let's spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
Rookies.
Oh, okay. Okay. What do you got, Pich? You go first.
All right. Well, I've got this Caleb Houston, one of our rookies from this past season. As a matter of fact, the last guy the Orlando Magic have drafted at this moment. It's numbered 46 of 99.
Ooh.
Got his auto right there on the front, and him pictured in his Michigan 22 jersey. So maybe he was a big Franz Wagner fan. That 22 Mish just a year after him. But it's a pretty cool card. I picked it up at my most recent trip in Vermont. Got it for, I believe, $2.
Wow.
So I felt like that was a pretty good deal. They were probably just like, wow, somebody wants this. And it's like, hey, that's what happens when we roll into one of your shops.
Yeah.
A large portion of your Orlando Magic cards are coming with.
The proprietor of that establishment must have been so stoked to see someone finally going through and digging out for Orlando Magic cards in Vermont.
Yeah, I got some stuff that has been probably sitting in some bins for a while.
Yeah.
Some of it we may see later, so I won't tell you all of it now. But, I mean, Joe Wolf autographs, nobody wants those, but we do. What do you got for Rook?
We're monsters. I picked up this rookie, Jalen Suggs. We have a rookie ticket, the Panini Contenders. It's autographed. This we picked up while we were in Orlando at the hobby con that we went to. Collecticon, that was it. I think I got this one while the Yin Yang Twins were playing in a very awkward concert.
That's weird.
It was like a freaking hangar for planes. The sound was horrible. But we met a really nice guy. The company that sold us this, they're Orlando-based. It was great to talk Orlando Magic. And he really hooked up the price on this when he learned about the podcast and learned about how nutty we were about the Orlando Magic. So he saw that same crazy that he has for the Orlando Magic, and he hooked up the price on this one. But, man, really excited for this card, and I feel like I bought low because it's about to be the Jalen Suggs awakening this year.
Yeah, just to have that card period would be amazing, but to already have it graded at 9.5 is fantastic. I think that might be one of the finest cards in this attic.
Ooh.
Well, at least one of our favorites, I think, overall.
Okay.
All right, well, let's spin the wheel and see what we got for the next category.
Spin that wheel.
Who the hell? So this will be the category where we kind of pull out a card and go, we don't really know this guy.
Yeah.
Or who the hell? Like, there's a real good chance at this point. I know most guys who have put on a Magic uniform. It's tough to get one past me that I'm like, I legit don't know this guy. But overall, it's just a general, like, who the hell? Like, people shouldn't know this guy, or, you know, you're a deep fan if you do. Would you like to lead off this category?
So mine is, I got a double whammy because it's a rookie of Travis Diener.
Now, I'm going to tell you something right now.
The meaner Diener.
You may have selected that card before for this very category. And not only is there a person on this show, but one of our Patreons have a bobblehead of this man.
Of Travis Diener?
Of Travis Diener.
So if I did.
AKA Diener Buckets.
Diener Buckets. I mean, it's Diener Short, man. He's taking me back to those early 90s, early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah, it's the shorts for
The
me.
short length is just amazing. It's giving little redheaded Kyle flashbacks of when he used to wear his Echo and Mecha gear.
Like, those shorts are making him look way shorter than he actually is, because those things are, those are like some jams from the 90s that just are meant to go down to the calf. Like this.
I'm sorry, Travis Diener. I just don't know who the hell you are. He played, let's see, from 05 to 09 and 10. So he played 5 seasons, 2 seasons with the Orlando Magic. He played 49 games for us, 3.8 points on 10 minutes a game, 11 minutes a game.
Well,
Travis Diener.
most people know him from playing with Marquette. Was on that Final Four team with Dwayne Wade. So
Didn't know.
he could get buckets.
No idea. It's before my time. 2000,
No respect.
2004.
Everybody in the greater Wisconsin area would know Travis Diener.
Well, I didn't. I was like 16 at the time. I was too.
But that's what the category "Who the
too
hell's all
busy-
about, baby.
Right. I don't know who it is. I was
Because
too busy.
I'm sure wherever this man is from, he is respected.
He's
he is
known.
There
He's a
could be a
celebrity.
statue of
Maybe.
him up in the town where he's from.
Definitely like community center named after him.
But this is Gordon Girachek. And this is actually a piece of glass. Let me see if I can
Wow.
see. That's it's like a little piece of like plasticky glass kind of thing. It's a really cool concept. It's a cool card. It's actually autographed by him too, which is
On the
totally
glass,
unnecessary.
yeah.
But it's on glass, which I've never really heard of at all before.
I love this card.
In the hobby, but it's a dope card. The concept of it is neat. I wish it was of somebody better, but
Yeah, why
I
do you
also
make this
found
cool
this-
of a card about Gordon Girachek?
I also found this in Vermont and was there and thought this has probably been here since somebody broke it out of a pack,
Yeah.
and they're getting it out of here today
Yeah.
because this is way too cool a card to leave on the table with the deep Magic collection that we've built. So
You did well.
here it is.
You did well. Welcome to the collection, to the PC, Gordon. All right, let's see what's next. Pich, spin that wheel.
Rare treasures.
Ooh, okay.
Mm.
I could have used my Jalen Suggs for that.
It's a rare
It's a pretty
treasure.
rare treasure. 9.5 grade, auto, on-card, rookie.
Right.
But instead, I have, as I had to with the caveat earlier, this is an item, kind
Item.
of. It's a Kyle Langen business card.
Oh, here we go.
But on that business card, you can see the man, the myth, the legend, David Steele has autographed my Orlando Magic Fan Podcast business card. And, it's just when you meet one of the legends, a guy that you look up to who's been the voice of the Orlando Magic for years and years and years now, since the inaugural season, right?
I think it's been the whole time.
The whole time. He's
Whenever
been
I
along
go
for
back
the
and watch
ride.
an old highlight, I hear that familiar voice, and I'm like, man.
I know. He's intrinsically tied to the organization, the voice of David Steele. And so this was from when we did Reddit night a couple years ago. We did the on the court experience, and David and Jeff were so nice to take some time. Luckily, it was after a win, the Bulls win, where Jalen Suggs put DeMar DeRozan on a poster. And yeah, they were just hanging out. They gave us some time. They talked to us. They asked us where we were from. Just gentlemen and scholars. So that's my rare treasure right there, because it's a one of one.
Was that the one that's the one of one?
Or is it a one of two?
It might be a one of two because I have
You have an auto, but it's on my business card of either David or Dante.
Yeah,
One of them.
I can't remember which one, but I think it's David
Well-
because I think when we got down to the court, only
Yeah.
your cards were like available.
Available.
on our
Yeah.
stuff.
So this is a one of two, and Pich has the other. So that's a rare treasure right there.
But we each have a one of one Dante Marcatelli.
That's
so.
true. Maybe I should have got that one for rare treasures.
My rare treasure, it's hard to compete with that rare
Yeah.
treasure, my friend. A moment that will live in time for this podcast infamy. It's Franz Wagner. It's a rookie card. It's from the plates and patches set. This is the red variant, and it's numbered to 149. It's number
Okay.
79 of 149.
It's pretty
which
rare.
Is the year I was born, so that's cool for me.
Oh.
But it's a cool card. It's rare. Franz Wagner rookie cards, they made a lot of them. So some of the base ones don't have a ton of value. So it's like you have to get a variant.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get a numbered one for it to have any kind of value or anything like that. But, there's only 149 of these bad boys, and one is here. So it qualifies for rare treasures. And look at this man on the card. That's a rare treasure. They don't just have Franz Wagners everywhere. They have
man.
Moritz Wagners,
The
but we got him too.
Wunderkid.
All right, let's spin the wheel and get it a fourth category here.
Last time, Pich, spin that wheel. No,
Next to last time.
I always do
He
this.
loves to rush things.
Here we go. Spin that wheel, Pich.
Why? Just why? That's
Ah.
right. The 25th letter of the alphabet. Coming up big here with why? Just why? This would be. You know what? I'm leaving this one open ended because why? Just why? It could be a lot of things to a
It
lot of
could
people.
be a lot
It's
of things.
usually based on something that's like a big baby Davis situation. Like, ooh, why did we get this guy? Why?
Well, or a Serge Ibaka situation.
Oh boy.
Yep. I had to scour the collection. I think I have purposefully not added much of this. I only have this one card of Serge Ibaka from the base like NBA hoops team sets that they put out.
Okay.
And man, this is just probably, if you're like me out there, this is a day that lives in infamy in the lore of the Orlando Magic. Rob Hennigan just lighting the freaking thing on fire. We were going kind of in the right direction. We had some good pieces. And on draft night, we trade Victor Oladipo, who would go on to crush in Oklahoma City, with Ersan Ilyasova, whatever, that was a throw-in, but also the rights to draft power forward Domantas Sabonis, who, as we know, is now carrying the Kings along with De'Aaron Fox in the playoffs. Game 7 happening just a moment. So, man, you could think about the future if you would have had those guys there. Tobias Harris, Victor Oladipo, Domantas Sabonis. Soon thereafter, we got Aaron Gordon and Elfrid Payton. I mean, names that don't jump off the screen, but that's a lot of talent. That should have been a playoff team, and instead it cratered the franchise, and we're only just now kind of digging back out from that.
Yeah, but, if that team was successful, we wouldn't be where we are now. And I don't think that team would have been successful on an NBA championship level.
No.
So I feel like
probably
sometimes tearing it down or taking those steps backwards to get to where we're going. But I understand the trauma in the time, because that's a long span of time that really kind of handicapped us. And honestly, Serge Ibaka, we needed Serge Ibaka that bad.
Why?
Like,
he was like the fourth player on that OKC team.
He was okay, but
I tried to talk myself into it at the time. I was like, he's going to be ready to be a
all
guy
you can
now.
do as a fan sometimes.
Yeah,
right?
you have
talk
to,
yourself
right?
into
Yeah.
stuff.
Shit. What's the alternative?
All right, for my why, just why, I want to make sure that he knows that there's no slander going towards. I'm going to go ahead and say both these men.
Okay.
But my why, just why, is why was this card made? Because we've got Hedo Turkoglu from our beloved Orlando Magic, and then you've got Bobby Simmons from the Milwaukee Bucks, both autoed on the same card. What is the relationship between these two gentlemen? The only relationship I can conceivably think about between these two gentlemen is that Bobby Simmons played for the Bucks when I worked for the Bucks.
Okay.
And I really loved the Hedo Turkoglu and the Orlando Magic.
So was you. They're like,
This is the card that was designed for a person like me to buy. And this was also in that Vermont shop, sitting there probably for years, thinking, who the hell is ever going to want this? Me. That's who's going to want this. This is almost a why, just why, and a rare treasure in the same one, because it's a bananas card that they made, and I love it. I'm here for it. I love this card.
That's a great find, dude. That's a great find. All right, Pich, one more time. Let's spin that wheel.
Ooh, shiny.
Ooh, shiny.
Ooh, shiny
Just
is a category I just made up because I love shiny cards.
you got plenty of them to choose from nowadays.
And nowadays they make a ton of shiny cards. I remember back
Yeah.
in like the 90s, if you got a shiny card, you were like, I am king. Put this in a screw down and leave it in there forever. But now they're all shiny, they're beautiful, and they're out all the time.
And I don't know if this qualifies then, because this is the Flux series from Panini, and all of these are kind of shiny.
Yep.
So I can't really tell if this is specially shiny or just regular shiny, but I love this shiny. It's a deja vu card, like a player comparison, and we've got Cole Anthony up top and Steve Francis down below. Steve Francis in the Orlando Magic gear, both two small scoring guards. Steve Francis played well for the Orlando Magic. He was like our last guard to put up like 20 points a game from the perimeter, and ever since then it's been a little bit of a desert in terms of getting scoring from the guard position. But maybe Cole Anthony is growing into that. So I'm just trying to put that out into the sphere out there, the world, because a lot of talk in the Magic community. We need more shooting. Hey, Cole Anthony can be that guy. He can be that scoring punch. Deja vu, baby. Agreed.
I mean, that's no Bobby Simmons, Hedo Turkoglu, but I mean, all right, two guys on a card, I guess. My Ooh Shiny is one of my favorite subsets of all carddom. It is an Upper Deck Dazzlers of Rupe Hintz. Go Stars.
What?
Look at how green and shiny it is. I'll be making ice for this man soon. Oh, no, we're not. No?
This is an Orlando Magic show, Pete. You can't do this.
All right. But we'll see you soon, Rupe. Keep it going. Go Stars. All right, what I've really got for Shiny in the Magic department is I've got this it's not an Orlando Magic card, but it is Orlando Magic's beloved Goga Biadice.
Okay.
Or I'm saying his name wrong still, but I'm
Who
sorry.
knows?
He's always Biadice to me. This is a numbered card. It's number 3 of 99.
Oh, could be a rare
So
treasure as well.
Yeah, if Goga goes big, this will have super value. But Goga really was a great addition to the team this year. It seemed like a throwaway roster fill spot, but what a bright spot he was for the team. And it might be, a little while before we get a Goga and a Magic uniform card. So want to give him some props here. I found this also at the card shop in Vermont.
Jeez,
and I think
I'm
they
jealous.
were like, who even is this dude? And he's not even in an Orlando Magic uni, so they don't know he's on the Magic.
Yeah.
Probably just confused why I picked up 2 Gogas
Yeah.
while I was there. One also has a piece of his jersey from his days with the Pacers. So
That's a nice pickup. I'm
I go
very
deep.
jealous of that Vermont store experience you had. Yeah, Goga, we'll see. I'm down to give him another go on the Goga merry-go-round, and hopefully that means we can get some Goga
this guy loves
in.
the Mario go.
Yeah, I'm rocking with that metaphor today.
All about it.
I'm down to have him on the roster next year, I think, and hopefully that means we can get some cards of him in a Magic uniform.
For sure.
So let us know what you think. What were your favorite cards that we pulled? Do you have any cards in your collection that you enjoy? You want to let us know? Send them over at @Court_Cousins on the socials. Now we're going into the end of the show. Don't go anywhere. The large ending is coming up, but do want to shout out all of our All-Stars and second cousins on the Patreon, helping to finance the show, helping us to get all this awesome gear. With Pich doing the move, we're going to need to buy some different audio stuff to keep you sounding crispy, Pich. So the Patreons are a big help in doing that, so we don't have to come all out of pocket for these investments. Shout out to Magic Player History, Bowl by the Dawn, It's Not Okay to Say Okiki, Wiffle, Andy, Dylan Holden, Drum, Rafa Perez, Breadhead, Al, Matthew Bell, Dan Young, Bernie Pichet back on the list, Gloria and Damien, Connor, and Yachty. Don't know why I said Raf's name like that. That was weird. Rafael Perez. Thanks, Raf. And now, Pish, it's that time of the show. It's time for the large ending. You got the button ready?
It's over here somewhere.
Okay, well, here we go. Push that button, Pish. All right, now that both of our brackets are destroyed and we both had the Bucks winning the championship, who do you got out of the East?
Oh, no. Yeah, I got to go with Philly. You know what? Now that there's no team that I like in the way, I'm totally cool with it being Philly's time. Let's go.
Yeah, just because you would never select Boston. Let's go, Celtics.
Yeah, never.
Come on, C's.
Hey, man.
Yep.
Have you ever been to Dallas?
Never been to Dallas.
But you seem pretty excited about the opportunity to come.
Hell yeah.
All right. We're gonna
Hell
get it
yeah.
on.
Hell yeah. I'm excited. I am a Cowboys fan, a closeted Cowboys fan. So I will be
Stay
going.
tuned. There's some of that coming.
I'll be going. So, Pish, much is made about how you're a food connoisseur. You are often cited in many food and wine journals as an
Wow.
expert in fine dining. What's your favorite food you've had while in Connecticut? Is there
This
anything
feels
you-
like an attack.
Is it Connecticut?
This feels like an attack because I know that we don't have the same sense of food enjoyment.
Will you miss any foods from Connecticut, though?
Will I miss any foods from Connecticut? Well, in general, I do, even though I know that this is going to make you way too happy. I do enjoy pizza in this area, but mostly because it's like New York pizza. It's kind of not its own thing like people from Connecticut will tell you.
It's the best in the world.
Connecticut pizza is just New York pizza they leave in the oven a little longer. And it's either crispy or on the edge of burnt. But I'm just being straight up. I know the Nutmeg State's going to come for me
Yeah, get
on
'em.
that one, but the pizza options around here are very good. And
Plentiful.
Yeah, that's probably some of the best. And
Yeah.
we were talking about it earlier, that little hot dog spot you got over there. That's a good joint. But I don't think I will miss the food as much as I will miss the people.
Of course. Well, thank you.
Speaking of your Cowboys, their assistant coach, Chris Vaughn, got to draft his son, Deuce, the other day. Just give him
Okay.
the call, pretended like he had lost his
Wow.
phone, and then hands him off to Jerry Jones. Is
No
this
way.
anything?
I mean, yeah, you see the camaraderie we have with the Wagner brothers on the court in the Magic. I mean, why not? Why won't it just translate to the football field as
Hey,
well?
more families in sports. Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, Pish.
Yep.
For you, you're going down to Dallas. What's like an over-under on time you think until you wear cowboy boots?
Hey, I don't know, man. I mean, first of all, it's hard to find a pair of cowboy boots in my size. I've been told that you should get them made for you so that it fits to you.
Okay.
With my plantar's fasciitis, I don't know if I'm going to be in a boot for anything other than maybe just a crazy photo shoot or maybe one boot scoot boogie on some particular evening. I do have the belt.
Dude.
I definitely can see myself getting into a
square
hat.
dancing.
Maybe not 10 gallon, but maybe 8 gallon. You know, maybe a little.
You got to start somewhere.
You know, maybe at least 4 or 5 quarts. I don't know how they're doing the hats with the liquids.
Conversions.
But yeah, I don't know about boots. I think that might be the last thing to get because boots are pricey, man.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they're probably hundreds of dollars.
A lot of cow has to die to
custom
cover
with
these
your
feet.
freaking huge. Yeah.
So yeah, this is the large ending of this particular show 44.
Yeah.
But just want to make sure, this is not even a question for you,
Okay.
that we let everybody know that it is not the ending of this show.
No.
We are going to continue to plow through. We're coming up with ideas for how we can do live streams during the season. You know, this show started when I lived in Boston and you lived here. So we just kind of got to go back to that format.
Back to the roots, baby.
And find another way to keep connecting and do show game wrap-ups and stuff like that when the season comes back. So
Absolutely.
I'm going somewhere, but this show ain't going anywhere.
Amen, baby. And you're not going anywhere out there, second cousins. Thanks so much for sticking around with us during this show, for all the other shows that you've watched. We appreciate you spreading the word, all your kind words, feeding the algorithm in the comments. Thanks for clicking the like and subscribe. Happy birthday, Pich. Love you, man.
Thanks, man. Love you too. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Peace out.